Hey everyone, how are you? And welcome back to Let's Build an Epic Village. So for this video, obviously it's a time lapse, and obviously I'm recording my commentary over me building because I knew what I wanted to do for this, and I wanted to build in peace without having to talk while building. Sometimes I get like that, like sometimes I can talk and build at the same time, and other times I cannot. So anyways, what I was planning on doing with this is creating like a big like market slash fishing house where this was like these were like the super fishers, if that makes any sense. Um, I I don't really know quite how to explain what I was going for, like 100%. I mean, it's not. This is sort of something that I guess you would see in a village, but not really. Like the standard NPC village, you kind of wouldn't have something like this. Like you would have specialty buildings, but not really. So, yeah, but anyways, I basically, just went about this sort of like thinking about, okay, I want to have specialty buildings, but I don't want to just stick to, the kitchen and the blacksmith. So I kind of made like a fisherman kitchen. I guess I don't really know what to call this thing that I've created, but it's a thing, and it seems to be functional. Like when I finished this, I felt like this had every right to be in the village. So there's going to be a big furnace in there too. You guys will see later, but yeah, that was sort of what I was going for. Kind of, sort of. Again, I don't really know how to explain this quite well enough to illustrate it, but I hope that the time lapse kind of makes it make sense. It's nice too because with Sony Vegas, I can also adjust the the speed of something to be exactly what I need it to be, so you guys can still see the build, but at the same time, it won't like make it so that it's not too fast or too slow or anything like that. So yeah, um, but this was fun. This was a lot of fun for me. I enjoyed this. So there's a reason why I'm making that extra door there, and you guys will see when it's all done. So then I was kind of like, the roof was just, the roof was an experiment for me, let's put it that way. I don't even know how to put it into words. Um, but anyways, I want to know just like, how are you guys doing? How have you been? I hope everything's going okay. I mean, you guys kind of know what I've gone through over the last few weeks, and obviously I'm feeling much better, but I mean, health-wise I'm feeling much better, but there are just other things that have gone on, but I'm not really going to talk about that in this video. But anyways, what I did want to talk about was an interesting experience that I had yesterday at work, because I had this kid come in, and this child is probably one of, or I shouldn't say one of, but definitely the most difficult child I've ever had to work with. This kid was just, I don't know how to describe this kid. Like, there's just something up with him. And he kept torturing the other children, and it was really scary, honestly. It really was, because his behavior was so over the top, and it was so difficult for us to deal with because he was just so aggressive toward the other kids and so mean to the other kids. And what irritated me was that the parents tried to say that the reason why he was behaving this way was because he didn't understand English, therefore he wasn't going to listen to us. And when I spoke to my manager about this whole situation afterwards, she very, how could I put it? She just said it in like a really cool way. She's like, every kid understands no, and that's exactly true. No is a universal word. And I said to her, I've worked with so many children who were refugees in the past, and they all understood no quite well. And I said to her, I mean, I know you know this, but I'm just going to say it again anyways. The kids that I worked with have been through things that kids should never go through. And they didn't have the kind of problems that that kid had. And language had nothing to do with it. So that was my feeling on that. So it was just absolutely ridiculous. It's like, if your child is a nightmare, it's obviously because there is something going on in the child's life that is affecting how they interact with people, and or there is something in the way that you parent that child which has made it very difficult for that child to function in society. And it doesn't have to be my problem. It's not my problem. You know what I mean? Like, don't... If your kid can't partake in society, then please don't dump your child on us. Like, if your kid just absolutely cannot be around other children, you shouldn't let them into our play area. You shouldn't want to drop them off, or you should warn us ahead of time at least that your kid is a monster, because then we'll be able to at least anticipate what's going to happen. But I mean, you should have seen him. Like, he had absolutely no self-control whatsoever. Like, he was grabbing kids and throwing them in the ball pit. There were a couple kids he tried to bite at one point. There was a girl that he, like, grabbed her by the ponytail and pulled her under the balls. And it's not like we were trying to stop the kid. We were. It's just important to understand that we're not allowed to have physical contact with the kids. And I certainly wasn't going to touch this kid because I knew that this kid was probably going to try to bite me. And I'm not getting bitten or scratched by a kid ever. That's happened to me before, and that doesn't feel good. That's not a fun thing. So I was like, no, we're not having that. And it didn't help the fact that this kid was just so creepy. I mean, I'm sorry, but this kid was creepy. Like, there was this one girl that he kept staring at with this, like, really creepy grin, like as if he was happy that she was upset. And it was really disturbing behavior. And I was like, this kid is banned. This kid's never coming in our play area again. Like, I made that decision. Like, I didn't, like, ask my manager, hey, can we ban this kid? It was like, no, this kid's banned. No more. Just not gonna happen. So one thing, though, that kind of, like, just to get off that subject, because I want to get off it, and I do want to actually talk about what I'm building here. One thing that did kind of bother me was the fact that there's, like, just flat wall around that whole, like, round area where the furnaces are. There's no point to having windows there because the furnaces are, so I kind of put these plants around thinking that maybe that would kind of make it pretty ish. It's like, okay, well, so that didn't work. But anyways, so yeah, I was like, okay, that kind of hides the, like, ugliness of that little spot right there. But yeah, so I hope you guys can kind of see, like, the modification that I did with the roof too. I didn't really talk about it in the last episode because I don't think I had done it yet. But that's basically what I did, that whole log thing there, and I'm happy with it. So this is the point in time, I think, when I started taking screenshots too, or just started looking like, what can I add to beautify this? Because I need to pretty it. Because it needs to be pretty. Because of reasons. So, yeah, I just kind of continued prettying it because I wanted it to be pretty. It's like, it has to be pretty. Because of reasons. But yeah, the general concept is obviously they cook the fish, they cut the fish up, they cook the fish, and then they eat the fish. And then everybody's happy. So yeah. Torch placing was kind of complicated here. It's like, I gotta place the torches pretty. But yeah, so anyways, that's basically that. That's the thing. So I want to thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I definitely want to hear what you guys think about this in the comment section, what you think I could add or take away possibly, because yeah, so anyways, I want to thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time.